Hi guys, good morning and welcome to my podcast. My name is Mandy and you can find me on the internet as Mandy Von Knits on Instagram and Ravelry. I am a 39-year-old woman from southeastern Michigan. I live here with my husband and my 2 kiddos, and I love to knit. I love to knit and crochet and do all of the yarn crafts, and I love to talk about it. Every week on Tuesday, I release a new video. It comes out at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and I talk about all sorts of things. I talk about things I've seen on the internet. I talk about new patterns that I'm excited about. I talk about old patterns that I'm excited about. I talk about things I've machine knit. I've talked about things I've hand knit, hand crocheted. I talk about works in progress, my future knitting plans, and crafting plans in general. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please stick around. I would love to have you. I am coming to you today on a very, very dreary and rainy and gross Saturday in summer. It is July. We're almost done with July. We are this close to August. And I have been thinking, like, throughout this whole week, I can't believe August is almost here. What happened to the summer? Because I don't know about you guys, but I am not a big fan of the winter. So, with all of that said, we are going to get down to a couple of important items. First of all, happy 100th episode. So, this is my 100th episode, and I'm super excited about it. I will be doing a prize giveaway on August 12th. So this will be a giveaway outside of my normal digital prize pattern giveaways, which I do every week. This will be, I believe, 5 prizes. And that would be 5 outside of the norm prizes. I am still trying to think about kind of digital prize patterns, but just show up on August 12th. That's all I can say. That's all I can promise. Okay, so second order of business. We're going to give away 2 prize patterns today. So I thought about this and I looked at my husband and I'm like, I want to give away 2 patterns today. So he agreed, and that's what we're going to do. For my 100th episode, we're going to give away 2 digital prize patterns. And that means there'll be 2 winners. And the rules are that the pattern prize has to be 15 USD or under. And the second rule is you can only win once a month. That's a general rule for basically every drawing. I want to make it to where, like, lots of people win. Kind of share the excitement, the fun with everybody. I feel like if the same person wins over and over again, it's going to get boring. So that's why I came up with that rule. Okay, so here's what we're going to do for this one. Since I'm giving away 2 prize patterns, I'm going to put one in at the beginning and one in at the end. So let me leave a blank spot right here. And if that was your name, please reach out to me on either Instagram or Ravelry as Mandy Von Knits. Let me know what digital prize pattern that you want. Knit, crochet, whatever you can find on Ravelry if you're not a Ravelry user. Let me know that too, and we can figure out a different payment platform to get you your pattern. Okay, now pay attention to the end of the video and I will draw another one after I'm done talking. I don't have a lot to talk about this week. This week has been kind of hard on me. I'm not gonna lie. And it has been kind of hard on me because it has been very rainy. And I have health issues that get exacerbated multiple times over by the rain. So I have not had a lot of time to knit. Let's talk about what I machine knit first because I just want to brush through these really quick. And I figure that I will show you. So I actually have a stack of hats, like 2 stacks of hats, but I'm only going to show you one of each because, I mean, you don't need to see 3 of the same hats, right? Actually, there is one other one I'm going to show you, but only because it's like really cute and small. So this is Vanna's choice, and I made these, and they're kind of like a sage green. I don't know if this is going to show up very well. It's like a very light green, but it's almost like a gray too at the same time. But trust me, it's green. I believe the color is actually sage, but I could just be making that up. I feel like I did read it though. So take that as you will. I worked on all of these hats today. So I made 6 hats. And the reason that I did that is because I woke up today not feeling very well. And last night, I finished my daughter's cardigan. I have been hand knitting her a cardigan, and I will show that as soon as I am done with the hats. But I finished her cardigan, and I was super happy about it. But that cardigan was tough. And we'll get into that in a second. Okay, so this is my the second, like, kind of yarn type that I had. Wow, look at how that comes up on the screen. That is crazy. So this is a Herrschners yarn. This is worsted neon light. And you know, that looks really kind of cool. Let me see how the other side looks. The inside of it. So these are very standard machine knit hats. And they're just basically double thick, folded in inside of itself. I really like how that pooled though. So I ended up, let's talk about this. This was one skein of Vanna's Choice by Lion Brand. So each hat was one skein. I had 3 skeins of this. Now for the Herrschners worsted neon light. This plus this little itty bitty baby hat was one skein. So that's actually quite a bit, right? I like how that one pooled too. But wow, those are bright. Jeez. I do like them though. I feel like I never lose my kids in a crowd with these hats on. But they're fun. Especially like when you get to be, I don't know, when I was growing up, like Lisa Frank stuff was really big. Do you guys remember? And even now, I still I adore the colors and just all the fun, bright stuff. And then the baby hat. This might actually go on one of my kiddos, or my daughter's dolls, because I think that that would be a really good size for it. So, like I said, this was Herrschners worsted neon light, and I actually have the yarn band right here. So it is 100% acrylic and 226 grams. So 3 hats out of 489 yards, which I think is pretty good. And it's a size 4 worsted. But that's it. That's like all of the machine knitting, and now we're gonna talk about hand knitting, because this cardigan, you know, when I was appraising, and I do this, right? I will look at a pattern and I'll judge it based on, you know, if I like how it looks or not. And maybe I'll gloss over like the details of the actual pattern. So when I was looking at this one, this pattern, by the way, it's called the Montrose Junior Cardigan. And I've been working on it for a little bit. It's an Aran weight cardigan. It has pearls, purling quite a bit, which isn't a big deal as long as you're prepared for it. Not a big deal. But one of the things that did get me, and let me show you first of all, I'm going to show you the back. So let me see. I've got the buttons on, and I have the clean, kind of clean, not so clean. Oh, they're not that bad. I haven't blocked it yet. I don't know that blocking is going to take that completely out, but let's look at this side. I feel like if I could have redone this cardigan, I would have picked not doing it in Aran weight yarn. I think I would have liked it better in like a fingering weight yarn. And the reason I say that is because it's just so thick. Like, I guess I'm so used to working with fingering weight yarn that when I take a worsted weight yarn and then I add purl ridges, which makes it even thicker, you end up with this cardigan that's like super poofy. And that's great. Actually, my daughter was really happy about this last night. She saw it, and she saw it after I put the buttons on. Well, she saw it before I put the buttons on too, because she was the one who picked these buttons. I don't know if, let me see if I can show. They actually have like little flowers on them. They're just wooden buttons. But I worked all week on this button band. And I know what you're thinking. What's so spectacular about this button band? And the answer is that it's double knit. So, and that was the first time I had ever double knit anything. And I did not realize when I picked this pattern that double knitting took so long. And I mean, it makes sense, right? Because you're slipping stitches. So obviously, just like when you slip stitch mosaic, it takes longer to gain length. And when you look at how big this cardigan is, you go all the way around for the button band. But I don't know. I think it's cute. Look at the back again. But like I said, it's huge, and it's very, very big on her, and she really does like it. She loves how like big and poofy it is. It reminds me of one of those puffy puffer jackets, except it's not really a jacket, is it? It's a puffy cardigan. I could probably take this pattern just like it was, knit exactly the same size, and bring the weight down, and maybe use even like a DK weight, and it would still fit her. I'm almost positive pretty well. It would be nowhere near oversized, but I feel like I might appreciate the final product more if it were in DK weight yarn, or probably even fingering. But it doesn't matter what I think about it, huh? Because she likes it. So I do like how long the ribbing on the sleeves and the hem is. And as much as I complained about the double knit button band. I do like it too. And in fact, I started thinking about maybe doing it on something else, like in the future, because I like the overall effect of it. Being able to have stockinette like that and having it lay flat, and it's just, I like it. But I promised that I would give it to her as soon as I was done talking about it. So she was happy about that. But look at how massive, like, wow. I wonder if I have one that I could grab. Let me see. So, okay. This is a size, what? She's like, this is actually, technically, she is 12. She wears like a size 10. This is obviously not a size 10 because it's oversized, but here we are. This is a cardigan out of worsted, Aran weight yarn for my 12-year-old. This is my shirt out of fingery weight yarn. Do you see the difference? Sometimes I feel like we don't, this is a very good encapsulation of why I appreciate knitting out of fingering weight yarn, but also why it takes a very long time to do. So just in case you guys were ever curious about like the size difference between the two, there you have it. The things we notice like throughout our knitting journey. Okay, like I said, that button band took me all week. And I had wanted to take a picture of her in her cardigan, you know, from the neck down, but I didn't get a chance to. I will try to, so I have it for next week's podcast. But you can imagine that the fit is basically like that of a boxy, because that's pretty much what it fits like on her. It's basically just like a boxy cardigan. I have knitting plans for next week, and my next week knitting plans are that I want to carry on with my sock arm cardigan Zelda sweater. I would really like to finish the increases for the back and then cast on the front and start the same with the front. And my other goal would be that before I went on vacation, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but before I went on vacation, I cast on Corbis from Natasja Hornsby, I believe, and I cast it on with Barocco modern linen, and I cast on a couple of sizes bigger than I needed. And my goal for the next week is that I want to just keep knitting on it to where I've got enough to kind of do a gauge swatch and see where I'm landing on the gauge, and to see if I want to knit an even bigger size than what I'm knitting. I'm pretty sure I'll be okay, but because I'm using a fingering and the pattern calls for a DK, I just want to make sure that I'm gonna fall within the realms of where I need to be, especially with the Corbis sweater, because it's not something I'd want to knit over again if I get the size wrong. So let's just leave it at that. What else? I think that's pretty much it for my knitting plans for the next week. I know that I have some patterns I want to talk about, and then I will do the next pattern draw, and then I'll spend like 5 minutes talking about life. But I found this pattern, and the reason I ran across this pattern is because somebody told me, my friend Cheryl told me, that Alicia Plummer was having a sale on her patterns, on all of her patterns. I think there was a specific coupon code on her pattern page, and it was like 40% off, and she was trying to raise money for medical bills. So I went and looked at Alicia Plummer's, all of her patterns, and I ran across this one and I thought it was really pretty. It is called Starry Night, and you guys will have to let me know if you've ever seen this one, because I have not. This is from Alicia Plummer, and I really like it. Now, I believe that this pattern is at least the pattern sample is done in Spin Cycle. Yep, it's done in Spin Cycle, dyed in the wool, and Hudson West and Co. Weld. So it says that it uses a sport weight yarn and that the gauge is 26 stitches and 36 rows in the color work chart that you're doing. Now, I saw this and thought it was super cute. I really do like the way that, what am I trying to say here? I really like the way that the color work works on this sweater, and I also like how it's short sleeved. Because, so it's in sport weight, which means that even though you're using 2 strands of yarn, it's going to be okay because it's sport weight. Remember? So like maybe double this. It's not that big of a deal. It says that, so it says it's stranded. It's not even mosaic, so it should knit up pretty fast. But I've always thought about maybe instead of using Spin Cycle for something like this, to use like a self-striping sock yarn. And I think that that would look really pretty too. So the ribbing is one color, and I would keep that the same, but I would swap out the contrasting color for the gray for the rest of the sweater. And then just knit it like that with the self-striping yarn, just to see what happens. I do like the sweater. I'm trying to take a look at the sleeves here. So it looks like you do a 3-needle bind off, but what I would really, it says it's worked from the flat from the bottom up. And front and back are knit flat, joined at the shoulder with a 3-needle bind off, and then seamed at the sides. So the one thing is that I would really like longer sleeves. Only because I think that this would be a really pretty chart for a full color work sweater as well. Okay guys, so this is the next one, and this is a crochet sweater, and this is by Anna Maria. This is called Stripe Oppose Sweater, and I thought that this had a lot of potential, especially when you take a look at all of the colors you could put this in. I thought that it was really cute. This is bulky weight yarn though, and it's done in crochet. So that is going to make for a heavy sweater, but it does look like a lot of fun. It says that it's done in We Are Knitters the Petite Wool. Now, I've never used any We Are Knitters yarn, so I can't speak to that, but I think that this would be a lot of fun to play around with the different stripe colors. Because you guys know me, I love rainbow. I love rainbow, and I love pink and black and like neon green. So anytime that I can kind of add a bunch of different neon colors to things, I definitely would. It says, introducing the Stripe Oppose Sweater, a fun creative project that is the perfect match of style and simplicity. Crocheted with bulky weight yarn and a large hook, this sweater works up at lightning speed, transforming stitches into cozy textural dream. The 2-color moss stitch creates a meditative rhythm, making this project as relaxing to make as it is stylish to wear. Its paneled construction makes for a straightforward assembly process, while faux knit edgings and ribbed accents add a touch of sophistication. So it says that it's perfect for adventurous beginners, but I love the fact that it's got faux knit edging. And if you are watching this and you can knit and crochet, you could actually add like the real deal on it. So I do really like whenever two of the crafts that I can do and that I love to do kind of come together in one project. So it really makes me happy anytime that I can see that. It does say that the pattern is in US terminology, in case that matters to you as a crocheter. Okay, so I am not one to really like tank tops because I don't know, I've just never liked, I just haven't been big into them. I've been trying to get better as I get older, and I'm trying to kind of expand my horizons, but I've never been one to just wear a tank top like outside. I mean, I haven't. It's just, it is who I am, and I'm very subconscious for the most part about my arms. So I know that you guys understand, and I'm sure there are things you feel subconscious about with your bodies and things like that. But I did see this tank top, and I specifically picked it out because A, I love it, and B, it's beautiful. It has all sorts of cabled stitches down it. So let me just stop talking and show you. It's done in fingering weight yarn. It is very intricate, and if I were to make a tank top, I would love to make this one. Okay, so it is called the Ilana top, and it says that it's knit from the top down using the diagonal shoulder technique, also known as the European or Japanese method, which creates a beautiful flowing shoulder line and comfortable fit. So let me see if I can kind of center in on the shoulders there, because they are beautiful, and the teeny tiny cables are so cute. I love them. I really felt like that. I felt that this tank top would be beautiful, and I would love to make this to just, I don't know. I don't know. I could make it to put over a dress, something like that. It says that the pattern includes step-by-step description of work, charts, and helpful videos for all stitches and techniques. And you need between 656 and 1312 yards, and there are 5 sizes available, and like I said before, it's in fingering weight yarn. Those cables are so teeny tiny. Okay, so I wanted to pull this out because, like I said, August is pretty much here. And I was listening to some show, it must have been like one of the at night shows that they have on YouTube. But they mentioned that Starbucks is going to start, maybe I read it on an article somewhere. Starbucks is starting to sell their pumpkin spice latte, something, I don't know. You can tell how much I drink Starbucks, can't you? They're starting to sell whatever pumpkin spice wonderful thing they have at Starbucks on August, I think, 26th. So I started thinking about Halloween and fall and how it's going to be here any second before we're even ready for it. the kids are almost back in school. I can't believe summer's almost over. Why is this happening so fast? So that's kind of where I went, like, throughout the night. But I ran across this and I thought that this was cute. I wanted to find some things that what am I trying to say? That I could make within the time frame that I had before Halloween and not stress out about it. So I ran across these. They're pumpkin coasters. They're called the Great Harvest Pumpkin Coaster, and it's by Crochet 365 Knit 2, and they're done in worsted weight yarn, and the hook size is 4mm, which is a size G, and you only need like 100 yards of yarn. And I thought that these were super cute. I would love to make them for like fall, maybe Halloween. I don't know. I think that they would look really good for Thanksgiving as well. It says, brighten up your fall decor with these fast and fun crochet pumpkin coasters. You will enjoy making these fun coasters for yourself or to give away. And it says, easy to follow pattern with detailed instructions. The skill level is advanced beginner, and it's got a free version. So I will put up the link and you guys can take a look at it. There's a version that you can buy, and there's also a link that's available for free in the description on Ravelry. So I thought that that would be fun to make. The only thing, and I have an issue with this whenever I think about making coasters, is I wish that the coasters came with like a holder, and some of them do, but this one doesn't. I might need to kind of think about where I'm going to put the coasters after I'm done making them. But okay, this is called Rasamala Tee and Sweater. Now, this is in the same vein as that knit tank top, and this is the same as that. It's very fine yarn, and the pattern, which is lace, is very delicate. Now, let's talk about the pattern for a second, because it's a shirt and you have a lace pattern on one side, and it's pretty much all over lace. Let me see if I can show you. So it's all over lace except on the sleeves. So on the front you have the all over lace. On the back it's just stockinette. So it makes a reversible tee, and I realize I said front and back, and that's technically not true. On one side it's all over lace, and on the other side it's stockinette. But it's done in fingering weight yarn. The gauge is 24 stitches and 38 rows, and your needle size is 3.5. Now the sizes available is between 32 inches and 46 inches. So it doesn't go up to a sizes that are really that large. But let's see. This looks like it's a raglan, which it says with top-down raglan construction, you'll have ease of mind of increasing at the same spot throughout the pattern. This pattern is designed to maximize your yarn so that you'll have very little left over. The sample was made on size 36, and it only used 2 skeins of Papa Put velvet yarns, and with 4 grams left. So it says that body length can be easily adjusted. But it's, well, it only goes up to size 46, which I think is kind of a bummer. Okay guys, I have one more pattern for you. This is called Amelia, and this was featured in Barocco's newsletter, I think 2 weeks ago. So it is knit with a combination of 2 yarns. One is their aerial yarn, which is kind of like a mohair fluff, And the other one is called Valina, which I believe is a new yarn, or at least not a yarn I've used before. But if you take a look at that picture right there, you can see kind of why I really fell in love with this design when I saw it. This is knit sideways. So I am always on the lookout for patterns that are knit sideways, because I am a big fan of vertical design elements, vertical stripes, things like that. Because with knitting, a lot of knitting is horizontal, right? So anytime that you can have something different, I'm a big fan of that. And if you've been watching for a while, you know that. I've got some patterns in my queue where I've got like half of a sweater done one way and half a sweater done another way. It's a huge thing with me. So that is why I like this. So if you are using lace and worsted, they're saying that it's a worsted weight gauge. It's 19 stitches and 28 rows, is 4 inches in stockinette stitch with yarns held together. Now, with this one, since it's sideways, your row gauge is going to be important. So keep that in mind. It says, worked sideways from the center front and back out to the sleeve cuffs. Amelia offers an engaging construction as well as a finished pullover that will elevate any wardrobe. Now, this is 32 inches to 68 inches, or 81.5 to 172.5 centimeters, which is an excellent size range. And I really want to try this Valina yarn. It says Valina by Barocco. It's worsted weight yarn. It's 65% wool, 20% hemp, and 15% cotton. It is 234 yards to 100 grams. And then the Ariel is just a mohair silk. So I do love that. I was looking at the color, kind of the colorways for this Valina yarn, and they have a really pretty like pink one. And I don't know, I don't think I've ever used a hemp yarn before. So it's wool, hemp, and cotton. I've definitely never used anything with all three of those in, but I don't think I've used hemp before. Have you guys ever used like a hemp yarn? No, I can't think of a time I have, but it does sound fun. It does sound promising, and I would like to try it. So with this one, whenever you would have to look at the pattern, but it says it's knit from the center to the sleeve cuffs. So theoretically, when you start from the center, you're going to want to cast on more if you're looking to make it longer, because it is kind of short. But if you look at down by your hips, there is a spot where there's like almost ribbing, I want to say. So you could always just make that longer, kind of like the band around her waist if you want it to be longer. But I've been thinking about this pattern for, I don't know, like the last 2.5, not 2.5, I think just 2 weeks, because that's when it came out, I think. Something like that. Anyways, I've been like all over this week, so congratulations for making it through this podcast, which I'm sure is not my normal podcast. It's just been kind of a rough week this week, guys. I apologize. I am going to leave a blank spot right here. Okay, and if that was you, please reach out to me on either Instagram or Ravelry as Mandy Von Knits, and let me know what pattern prize that you want. If you are interested in winning next week's giveaway, just leave a comment down below and then check back next week to see if you win. Okay, guys, I am going to just skip right over life stuff. with one caveat, well, two caveats. Number one, my CAFOs broke. Well, one of my CAFOs broke. If you guys don't know what those are, it's knee, ankle, and foot brace, basically. So what broke on them was that they don't lock in place now. So the way that they work is that they keep my legs straight and it won't buckle if I put weight on it. So have you ever seen some, like a kid playing around and they like keep their feet, their legs completely straight and they walk like that? Well, that's kind of how they work. And if one side isn't locking, that means that, well, quite frankly, for me, they don't work. The only time I could get in to see the orthotist, I believe that's what they're called, the orthotist. The only time I could get in to see them was basically a week and a half from now, which is gonna kill me because I really like my CAFOs and I'm going to miss them very badly until I get them back. I think I said two things right, didn't I? Yeah. The other thing is that we're going to do a staycation in the upcoming weeks. It'll be for like 2 or 3 days, but I'm excited about it. And the reason I'm excited about it is because I rented The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy on Libby as an audiobook, and I am going to play it during our trip. So if you guys have ever read that, I'm hoping my kids will really like it. I think that it will be a fun thing for us all to listen to together as a family. The other thing is that during my staycation, I am going to go visit the yarn store there, so yay! Okay, important things to remember. Reach out to me if you guys were one of the 2 winners. Don't forget to watch on August 12th because that'll be a big giveaway show. And leave a comment down below if you want to be entered in next week's giveaway. Okay guys, thanks. Bye.